You go to a C&P exam. You've gathered the records. You've filled out the forms. You've waited God knows how long for the appointment. You finally get there. The doctor walks in, looks at you, and says, "How are you today?" And you say, "Fine." Well, there goes the neighborhood. Because most of us have been saying "fine" our whole lives. Your back hurts. Fine. Didn't sleep last night. Fine. Knee sounds like somebody shaking gravel in a coffee can. Fine. You could have come through the door carrying your left leg under your arm, and some veteran would still say, "Doing fine. How about you?" It's automatic. Nobody means anything by it. Unfortunately, you're not talking to the cashier at Walmart. You're at a compensation and pension exam, and the person asking the question has a computer and a form. And whatever you tell them has a pretty good chance of ending up in your file. So maybe this isn't the day for fine. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you to walk into that room and put on a show. Don't exaggerate. Don't limp harder because somebody's watching. Don't turn a 4 into a 12. Tell the truth. The problem is, veterans have a peculiar way of editing the truth before we say it out loud. "How's the knee?" "Well, it bothers me some." No. Your knee swelled up twice last week, and you had to pull yourself up the stairs by the handrail. That's not bothers me some. "How are you sleeping?" "Not too bad." You slept 3 hours, got up twice, wandered around the house at 2 in the morning, and finally fell asleep in the recliner with the television talking to nobody. That's not too bad. That's Tuesday. We do this because we've been doing it forever. Walk it off. Shake it off. Don't complain. Keep moving. There are times in life when that's useful. A C&P exam isn't one of them. The doctor isn't there to treat you. That's the part I didn't understand at first. This isn't the appointment where somebody says, "Let's see if we can make that knee feel better." The examiner is there to document what is wrong with you and how much it affects your life. Different job. They're filling out something called a Disability Benefits Questionnaire, DBQ. Because apparently, 3 letters are easier than saying what anything is. And that form is going to ask about symptoms, severity, how often it happens, what you can do, what you can't do, how it affects your work and your life. So give them accurate information, not the polite version, the real version. If your back goes out twice a month, say twice a month. If you can't stand more than 15 minutes, say 15 minutes. If you haven't slept through the night in 3 years, don't tell them you sleep okay. You do not sleep okay.
You have apparently just gotten very good at being tired. There's another phrase veterans like. I manage it. That one's right up there with fine. What you mean is, I've rearranged my entire life around this problem and somehow kept functioning. What it can sound like is, not much of a problem. Those are not the same sentence. If you manage your knee by avoiding stairs, say that. If you manage your back by never lifting your grandson, say that. If you manage your PTSD by never going anywhere crowded, say that. The workaround is part of the problem. That's the thing. And before you go to the exam, write some of this down. I do, yellow pad. Nothing fancy. What hurts? How often? What happens on a bad day? What I can't do anymore. Because when somebody in a white coat asks you a question,
Your brain has a remarkable ability to forget everything you were complaining about in the parking lot. Then you get home and remember all of it. Very helpful. So take notes, and after the exam, when you can, get a copy of the report. Read it. Make sure the person described the same human being who walked into the room. People make mistakes. Doctors make mistakes. Veterans make mistakes. I spent 14 years demonstrating that. Last one, personally. The point isn't to game the exam. The point is exactly the opposite. Don't hide the truth from the person whose job is to write it down. So when the examiner looks at you and asks, "How are you today?" think before you answer. If you're fine, fine. But if you're not, this would be an excellent time to stop saying you are. Fine is not a diagnosis, and the VA doesn't come with instructions.